What's going on, family? It's your guy Boro, the Lucky Libra. Thank you for tuning into another episode. As you can see by the title, we picking up the signs through the houses series. Where we at? Where we at? Libra. Libra in the fourth house. All right. So before we get into it, make sure to like, share, subscribe, tap into my Patreon to dive deeper, and tap into my website to connect with the Lucky Libra. So let's get right into it. Now, when we look at the fourth house, we're dealing with the home structure. We're dealing with the emotional well-being, of the form of the way somebody deals with their emotional stability. We're dealing with somebody's, their relationship with their privacy and solitude. We're dealing with the family environment, home environment, relationship with the parents, relatives, siblings. All right. And how we deal with our privacy and solitude, period. How we deal with our home environment, the home within us, how we deal with our private space, how we deal with our subconscious. So when we look at the fourth house, when we put Libra in here, this is my Cancer risings. This is my Cancer risings. Yeah, this is my Cancer risings. So when we look at, yeah, Cancer risings. I'm bugging out. Summertime fall. So when we look at Libra here, we know Libra deals with connection. Libra deals with connection. Libra deals with relationships, building relationships, balance, the value and understanding of another individual. It's air, so we're dealing with communication, So in the fourth house, Cancer risings, or if you have Libra in the fourth house with a different ascendant in some type of shape or form, you're going to manifest situations where you may have to play mediator in the home. You may have to be forced to understand. It may be situations you don't like. Like you may be aware that your father's cheating on your mother. You may be aware that, your parents are criminals. You may be aware. I be watching a lot of shows and movies, y'all, so y'all don't worry about it. But it's something that you're going to be aware of, and probably at a young age, you're going to be forced to have to understand that, like, I can't point fingers. This is I have to be understanding of where both parties coming from, both my siblings coming from, both my parents coming from. And you may have to sometimes be the one to interject. You may subconsciously be a individual in your family that you naturally bring the balance. Like the reason you was born, it brought the family balance when things was bad, like shit like that. It could go deep like that. Libra in the fourth house with Cancer rising. I know Cancer rising is powerful energy. Cancer energy powerful, so be coming through healing shit. Them spirits got Cancer placements coming through having to heal shit, especially within the family. So when you get to Libra in the fourth house, may have to take a lot of responsibility to build that connection within the home, build some understanding in the home. You may be the one to be the vessel to have to teach one of your parents, siblings, how to deal with relationships or understanding or being fair. When we got Libra in the fourth house, this individual's gonna somewhat yearn for that one-on-one connection with the parents here. Because when we look at the signs in the houses, is what we're experiencing. So it's what we're attracting, but it's not necessarily what we're doing. But these could develop characteristics and traits about ourselves based off what we've experienced in certain areas. So if you got Libra in the fourth house and you didn't have that real one-on-one connection with your parents or whatnot, you got to be aware of how that, trickles into other areas of your life. Now, Venus is the house lord here. So you want to see where Venus is at, because that affects a lot of what's going on in your fourth house. Now, Venus being the house lord, dealing with, self-esteem, value, love, and support. When you have that being the ruler of the fourth house, this is something that you're going to gravitate towards in the fourth house. You're going to gravitate towards having to feel that in some type of shape or form. So because that's the ruler, it's likely that's to be experienced here. Some type of connection. At least one parent you could have fair communication in your sense with, fair understanding with. I definitely see relationships starting off real harmoniously with the siblings here as well. Now, Libra in the fourth house, Libra is real open to make connections. So when you put in the fourth house, Cancer rising, you already know that they have a nurturing, aura to them. So when we look at Libra in the fourth house, when you come into their home, they're going to be as much of a nurturing hostess, as you pick up from their energy in the first house. They're going to go out their way to make things at home, in the fourth house for you. So Cancer risings, the Cancer in the first house is going to be guarded with what they let into their personal life. But when it gets into Libra in the fourth house, once somebody makes it into the fourth house, you got to be conscious of how open you are here too. Because, Libra could be a little passive where it's at. Libra could be a little passive where it's at, So it's like, you can't just let anybody into your fourth house, Cancer rising. Basically what I'm trying to say. All right. Can't let anybody into your fourth house. But that shouldn't take away from your nature of how you deal with an individual when you feel like you've developed a common level of understanding or a connection with somebody. All right. Now, Saturn is exalted in Libra. I just like to take into consideration all of the archetype into it being placed in a house, since we're just talking about the sign, right? So Saturn being exalted here, I like to say Saturn, we know Saturn deals with restriction and responsibility. So when we throw it anywhere into the fourth house, whether it's influenced through Capricorn, Aquarius, Libra, which is exalted in, which are all different signs. They're all different signs and have different energies, right? But, we're just looking at the Saturn influence touching the fourth house specifically. It may be a little shift of things being, cold and restrictive in the home as well, too. So that's why that balance is there. That's why the Libra, that's why I'm saying, like, early off the gate in the video, Libra in the fourth house is going to be forced to be in situations where they understand, you're going to understand discipline here. You're going to have to be forced to understand discipline because you're also probably understanding, trying to understand different viewpoints of things going on within the home. If there's like clashes in the home where you're being pushed to be in situations to mediate in the home a lot, especially as an adult or whatnot. So with Saturn here, probably makes that more of a responsibility to do that in the fourth house. All right. Now, since the fourth house influences how we deal with our emotional well-being, and Libra likes to connect, at times you can't rely on an individual, to help you deal with your emotional stability here, because it's air, and air likes to relate, communicate. So sometimes you got to make sure when you're into your own space, your own sanctuary, you have your relationship with solitude, especially as a Cancer rising, can't be letting your water get, too much other bacteria in it, and you keep yourself cleansed and spiritually detoxed by making sure you have your relationship with your solitude or whatnot, so you could continue to understand yourself and download what you need to download with clarity. So, don't ever feel like you have to depend on somebody else for that state of emotional stability here. You have to make sure you understand yourself and give yourself a chance to opportunity to understand yourself. Because just looking at that air sign being the fourth house, it can lean on feeling like you need to and like, listen, guys, we all have friends, partners, just therapists. Like, I'm not saying we have to do everything on our own, but when we just looking at Libra being a sign that looks towards relating, Venus looks towards connecting, right? You have to be conscious of that being something that's an escape mechanism for you all the time when it's time for you to deal with the fourth house on your own, deal with your emotions on your own on a certain situation. In that sense, we have to make sure it's not being, it's not being counterproductive, something negative to us. So that's what we got going on here, Cancer rising. That's what we got going on here, Libra in the fourth house. All right. Don't let if your environment, if you see an imbalance of relationships in your home environment, use that to heal. Use that to bring an understanding to relationships and how you deal with a family of your own, a fourth house of your own, as you get into adult years, or, or if you're dealing with your parent right now or whatnot, because when we look at the fourth house, this energy, I like to look at it as a house that develops a lot of, it's our subconscious. It's the home. It's parents, family. So we may develop a lot of wounds or traumas in this house by default, and we want to make sure we know where that carries into, because we all got things we need to work on. We all had things we experienced in our childhood, but remember, Venus is the house lord, so we want to see where Venus is at. You want to see what house Venus is in, okay? Whatever house Venus is in is gonna show a whole lot about what's going on with Libra in the fourth house. All right. So you already know the vibes, family. Like, share, and subscribe. Tap into my website to connect with the lucky Libra, and tap into my Patreon to dive deeper. Until next time, peace.